لكن بوري إن دبل خبر ما هو دبعت ما هي يعني هنا ذي دبيشة وحسد دبعتين ضد إن لا يو أتكسين دب أتكون حين دبيشة marka waa dhibaato jirta kulli markaad indhabeeshayna dhibaatooyin kala kulanto bulshada aanu ku dhexno lahay oo caqabado fara badan la kulmayso ama erayo fara badan oo aanad jeclaysan yacni aniga tii soo marto kala hadan tusaale yar ka soo qaado waxyaabihii dhibi jiray waxa kamid ahaa oo dadka aan yacni aad u nacbaan jiray afar qof baan nici jiray qof igu yiraahda adduunyada adiga maxaa ka galay wad naafa wad indhabeeshay iyo qof intuu gacmihiisa hor qabtay igu yiraahda intaas waa mis يعني سووه بيارجع سووا أجنا ندلها iyo shakhsiyaad kale oo yacni kelmado furfada ay ka soo yeeri jireen sanadii 2002 ayuu shil kan igu dhacay oo qarax miina aha magaalada Hargeysa gudaheeda oo aan dhulka ka qaaday markaa wax yar oo furfalaas oo kala ahaa masada furka falaasta oo sameysnaa oo aan markaas aqoon u lahayn ama aan garanaynin kadib waxa uu shaygaasi aan ku tuuray meel geed ah kadib dhulku ku soo dhacay dadna markii labaad ee aan qaaday aan damcayna tuuro ayuu shil qarax igu dhacay oo ugu qarxay kaasoo ugu ay dadna labadeedii gacmood iyo labadeedii marka waxaan ahaa standard 5 kadib waxa dhacday de waxbarashadeedii oo dhan inay istaagtay dhammaan dadna aan noqdo qof guriga jooga oo markaasi ka mid noqdo oo yacni dadkii guriga ku nooloo guriga lagu xanaaneeyo adigu waxoogaa isbedel baa ku yimid dadka moralkayga aniga yacni shakhsi ahaan iyo niyadaydii oo dhan kaas waxaad arkaysaa dadkeenu ma dhiirigeliyaan qofku markuu naafoobo ma dhiirigeliyaan laakiin waxay hadda iyo jeer isticmaalaan erayo yacni qofka sii niyad jabiya sida hebel iyo adduunye maxaa kala galay halkaasuu ka fadhiyaa iyo adduunye maxaa ka dana hebelba saasuu noqday adigu markii aan 11 bishii saddexaad kadib aan arday rasmi ka noqday iskuulkani waxay kordhay wax fara badan yacni isma waxaan la yaabana xataa qaabka aan wax u baran doono bal nooc uu noqon doono laakiin si wanaag waxaan ugu imday markaasi macallimiintii iskuulka oo maalintaas joogay iyadoo waqti fasaxana la yar galay ardayda kadib waxaan ugu imday trainer ah oo tababar siinaya macallimiinta waxa la dhiibay maalintii horeysay warqad yar oo plastic ah oo buur leh yacni waxa la yiri ku akhri bal dibnahaaga ama carabkaaga midkaad ku akhrin karto aad bay uga adkay waan la yaabanaa yacni suurtagal si uu noqon kara inaan dibnaha wax ku akhriyo
What makes the child very much disabled is not in reality the problem is that they have in their body or in their brain or whatever. But more than that, what makes a child disabled is how people react when there is a child with disabilities, starting from the family level, from the parents, from the family and relatives, from the neighbors, from the community at large. And secondly, physical barriers that are not helpful for people with disabilities to have access to the environment on the roads, transport systems, access to other education and opportunities.
We're always talking about helping disabled children. Could you imagine a way that those disabled children of persons could help us? What do they have to offer to us?
That is very true. And in our awareness raising and discussion is at that level always, we highlight how community, if they neglect people with disabilities, they do not educate children with disabilities, how the community itself is missing the talents and strengths of one very important component of the community. And we take examples of very successful disabled persons worldwide, scientists, politicians, and that's, I think, very important. Disabled people have contributions to make to the community. They have intelligence that other people may not have. And I feel if we include them into the mainstream and feel they are part of the community, then of course they have a lot of things to contribute to the community.
Welcome,
هاي
dharkan waan maydha
هاي
carruurtan waan haya
حاج إعلان هذينا النقاط هذول
safiirka United Nationka oo fadhiya Soomaaliya
وقت كان حاضر قاعدناي سو هذا هاي سفيرك يونايتد نيشنكا حد كبديل لي سوماليا بكويلي
Somaliland waxaan u arkaa inay ka qayb
حد كبديل لي
wax Somaliland tahay
ها
de Somaliland
وحنود كبديل لي
waxaan dika musuqmaasuqa
I would have changed the corruption she said
Is there a lot of corruption?
مسماسك بدل بيشري
ها
Hey.
iyo cadaalad darro badan
yeah she said there's a lot
Can she give an example of corruption?
تسألوا ما نقصي كرتا مسماسك
ها dadka maxkamadaha waa lagu dulmaa qofka lacagta haysto baa loo heliya khalaas
ما قرأت ما كأي واحد كسر قاعدة إن الذهب لسيدة كلمة واحدة أفريقيا يا واحد سؤال ويدين لهذا أو واحد يقول له هذا واحد سكب بدله يا أو كوابون وتصو جالسين
waxay markaa yani
واحد أفريقيا كهستوكا
Afrikaanka
ها.
wallahi madaxdooda dictatorship oo aad uga
هاي
kooban.
صورة كاميرا بالفيديو
dib markaa uma arko cagla-aantii waayo waan la qabsaday qofkan waxay dhib ku tahay markuu weyn yahay wax ku dhaca samada rag ka waan la qabsaday wax kasta waan qabsan karaya anigu dhirtaan fuulaya meeshaan doonaan maraya tanaan kaxaysanaya tay ugu darna waa tanoo aan la ahayn la-aanteed dhibaatada markaa tan waan hayaa markaa aanay tan hayba laakiin dhibaata haysaa
reer iyo saaxiibay family
ha
inta carruurada
carruurteedu waxa weeye leh
marka de waxay ku noolaanayaan xabada bixiya
hadda
u shaqaysaa yes xagee ka shaqaysaa
teeb baan u karaa maxkamadda
The life in school, you don't know such and such a place, you don't know what, you request somebody, maybe escort me here, you find it a bit hard. And lots of marginalizations, where you get people, okay, identifying you as blind people, your name gets lost. They begin calling you by your disability, begin identifying you by your disability, okay? That also becomes a challenge. It made me feel out of place, completely out of place. I wouldn't fight them, I wouldn't do what made me feel out of place. But I turned, I became focused. I'm telling you,
Focused on what?
focused on academics. Focused on academics only because I saw it was my future. I wouldn't climb houses and begin putting handsheets or constructing anything. I wouldn't become a conductor in the taxi or become anything. I thought that it was only the pain that would hope in future. For example, those who identified me by a blind boy, okay? I believe I've passed better than them when it came to A level.
Because what is your profession gonna be? What you will be going to university.
Yeah, I'll be going to university, my
What you
career,
will study?
by around August. I want to become a lawyer. 1,000 students, we are only 20 visually impaired students. That is for boys and girls. Now, in this school, the boys or the visually impaired students can do better than the sighted students. How do I make these sighted students to come near me? Is to show them that I beat them down academically in class. And they will come, explain for me this, explain for that. Even if someone doesn't want to near you, we will come to you and say, please, Kabugo, help me here, help me there, and so on and so forth. So the ambition and the determination will make you push, bring them, pull them back. It will become a pulling factor. At home, within the homestead, they were used to me. They were used to me, but they also had the impression of me being a nothing doer. Even to what you can handle, no, don't touch, you are blind. No, don't go there, don't do this, don't do that, don't that. That is also becomes painful, really, when you are restricted to touch, to do anything. Any cup that can break, don't touch, you are blind. Anywhere to go, maybe somewhere, even to what you can manage to lift. You say, don't touch, you are blind. That is painful enough, really. I was born mom. I stayed with my mom for most of my time. As it is, especially in Africa, disabled children are never for the fathers. They always leave them for the mothers to suffer with them, just as I experienced it.
As your father did?
Yeah, as my father did, really. And that is for the most of the children in Africa. Or in Uganda, generally, as I have seen and have heard about it.
Children are different. Some are very young. They've not reached the age of 5. Yeah.
What is the issue with the fathers that they won't allow?
There are two issues. If the child is a girl child, most likely they don't see that there's any benefit in future in terms of, say, it's going to be marriage and they're getting cows, in terms of dowry and bride price. 2, if it's a boy child, they're interested sometimes to see that there's a correction because this child might be the next heir of this family. But the other thing that it does is the level of the literacy levels. Some of them are not educated. Some of them, they don't know the importance of investing into rehabilitation and also giving an opportunity to a disabled child, say, to go to school and compete with the others. Even when we have a free education system in our country, they don't look at that. So the level of acceptance is twined in two things: the ignorance aspect of it, the traditional belief, and the importance of a girl child vis-a-vis the boy child. So that's what sometimes deters the men.
And despite the fact that there's policy in place for free education, it still requires more community work of all kinds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we have a very good scenario around in one of the communities where the two parents, one of them was a banker, another was a doctor. Professionals. They had a child with cerebral palsy, severe multiple disability. And they decided to get this child, rent a small house somewhere, get a relative to look after this child. And they lived in a very beautiful house. They all drove cars and very beautiful jobs as well. And the day we went to the community for monitoring visit, and I was told, I was just not very happy about the whole arrangement. And when we asked, who are the parents of this child? And we were told the story, we could not believe it. We had to involve the police. And the doctor says there's nothing we can do with the CP child. We do what we call policy advocacy and lobbying and sensitizing the communities. And from now and on, we always target the men. We usually emphasize that the men come on board. But when you call them, many times, when there's no money in exchange, they will not come. So the approach we've used is to go house to house, reach out to their homes. And there are successful stories that we have found these men, and they can only believe what we're talking about when they see a change. So we use the positive cases to interest the men, and also to give the responsibilities in terms of the parent support group that we've been able to set up. We give them roles, and because of those roles, they are encouraged to go out as well with us to the other households to find out, to encourage them. So the men are coming on slowly. There's a little bit of improvement. Of course, some of them take a lot of time, but we still have a biggest challenge to mobilize the fathers to take responsibility and believe that these are their own children, not the challenge of a woman.
Tulinawo kasanga ti parents care bulamu oyo ye ssentebe w'ekibiina ekyo. Tulinawo kasanga ti for action kyekibiina kyaffe abaana baabwe. Tulinawo kiteeko mubannangabo.
Yeah, why I decided to take that? First of all, I'm a parent. It hits me because I'm a parent. How can I say it? It takes me to take much emphasis on these children who are disabled, because I have some children at home. That's why when I look at them, the way how I spend on them, the way how I take care of them, then I take it back to another parent who has the same problem. The way how we can change them is through teaching them that disability is not inability. We try our level best to teach them on radio programs, on workshops, on televisions. We teach them, we sensitize the community to have a positive attitude towards the children who are disabled. Yeah, we need the communities to change. Era n'omwaleero tunaagenda okuva wano ng'owulira ddala kati olina ekintu ky'owulira nti kati kino kigenda kunyamba okuva ku ki. I wanted to take these children to school, but the problem, the schools for these children are expensive, and yet I don't have enough to take care of these children, to cater for them. But I've tried to look for schools so that these children could be there. I can't afford to bring an occupational therapist to this place every day. And I don't have access, I don't have transport to take these children to school daily. It's also a problem. What I need to have a project at home so that I may get some money from, so that I take care of these children. Health-wise, it's expensive, but sometimes Katarima has helped me.
What is the role of government in this process?
In terms of disability, you mean? I mean, there is a lot, but the government really has done practically nothing, to be honest. There are colorful legislative frameworks, policy frameworks, but
yes,
they're seldom implemented. So that's a problem. I mean, I think that's a generic problem, really, that runs through each and every country in Africa. You have to have a very clear legislative framework. You need to revise your penal and criminal codes. For instance, our criminal code contains very denigrating, very stigmatizing, very belittling language when it comes to especially people with mental disabilities. And such kinds of things have to be done first. You need to have a very clean and clear legislative and policy framework. Once you have that, you need to have budgets. So budget is a very important issue. So perhaps most laws and policies are not implemented for the simple reason that there is no budget allocated for those laws and policies. The commonality that they have with children with disabilities, basically, they are often forgotten by government as well as, in some respects, by NGO programs. So simply because they don't have voice, they cannot articulate themselves, they don't have an organized voice, etc.
And they're hidden population.
They are hidden population, as it were. So that's their common characteristic.
Yeah. Out of the survey that you've carried out, what comes out of that speaks to this issue?
Well, I think it's basically the issue of attitude.
Attitude.
Yeah, prejudice. I mean, even at the professional level. Professionals that confess that they know a lot about disabilities themselves have got a lot of prejudices about disability and disabled people. Policymakers. You see, because normally policymakers, lawmakers, and experts are buttressed by the society they live in, so they cannot escape, from the prejudices that manifest themselves at the community level. So basically, you see that
they manifest what's actually happening.
Exactly. So the prejudices that you see at the community level, at the level of the average, man of the streets, you find that also at the policy-making level, which is really striking.
There is a new constitution now, which apparently will help that group lift up.
Right.
But
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because the other day, no, I don't. In fact, I was really upset, and I almost actually looked for one of these announcers to come and do a research on the mentally handicapped children. They've been allocated money. Yeah, which was how much was it? 7 million? 700. Yeah, 700 million, which they have not given out up to now. And they're telling us to wait. Okay, I can wait. Fine. I can take care of my daughter. What about those other parents there? What are they doing with 700 million sitting in the bank? Why are they not reimbursing, giving that 700 million to the families who really need it? Yeah? So, and we are hoping for this constitution to help our children. Believe you me, maybe in our next life, not now.
I think you're very isolated here as you're because of ignorance, because of you don't know who to turn to. There are too few medical people who are conscious of what it is. They're not exposed to it. They don't put it out there. And I think probably what we all experience is that you feel you're in a pool on your own and you're slowly drowning and you don't know who's going to save you.
I always sit down and I look at my daughter and I say, God, she had better die first before me, because if I die now, what's going to happen to her? You know, that scares me. I'm always worried.
Me, it's not the death that scares me. I look at the post-election, 2007.
Yes.
What happened to those children who were left when a child like him, a child like mine, and all the others? In those areas, there were children like that, isn't it? Yeah. And they were left without mothers. They were left without anyone to give them care. Where are they and how? That's how we are looking now at the future. We are looking at the future of our children. Say, in the future, will they be able? You see, like you are still a bit fat, you are still not moving. Like now when he clocks mine now, he's 19, he's going to 20. So I'm saying in the future, surely how is he going to be? Yes, the future. The new constitution might not help us, but then it is up to us Kenyans now to choose the right person, not choose because of money or anything. All the old ones, when the time comes, we throw them out.
So I said, why not have a school which can try to carry students all the way from elementary education, middle school, high school, post-school training, and even plan for them beyond school. So I came up with this school called International Transition School.
International Transition School.
Yes. I talked to a few friends and told them about it. They were willing to lend me their money. I sold my car, so I managed to set up this place. Some of the parents I worked over the years had built a lot of trust in me. So they came and they told me that they believed in me, and if we set up a school, it can work. How can we as individuals be part of the solution to this problem? Because many times all of us seem to say the government should do it, someone should do it, the experts should do it. We've never seen the experts, we've never seen the governments. So I ask individuals, what are you doing at wherever you are that can make a difference, that can help that neighbor or that child in your family who has a mental health problem or a learning difficulty?
dee marka dab ka soo waxay ka soo kaxay oo gurigan keena marka dabeetana dee kulleeto adigu dee meel iskuul ho dee uu tagi karo awood ku gaari karaan ma jirto anigu mid aan intaan ka bixiyo lacag aan ku gaarsiin karaana ma jirto marka deetana taa yaree de iskuulka yaree halka carruurta ka dhigato ayuu ma dhex geeyaan oo de wixii hadba loo dhigo oo ka soo dhigta
marka hore ma sii kaxaysaa marka dambe
horena si kaxay marka dambe soo kan ka baneedo waayo waxaan uga baqaa de ama buugtaan qaad karin ma garanaysa oo garbihiisanba waa ku soo kala siibiyi garbihiisa ma socon karo ama jaranjaradii kama digi karo jaranjarada waan ka dijiyaa marka dambe waan ku dijiyaa buugtaan soo qaada.
If you were to tally the kids that are in special schools and in the integrated or inclusive settings, they cannot amount more than 100,000. And yet, more than 1 million kids join school every year. So if you're talking about a total number of 100,000 kids with disability, in totality in the whole educational system, then you clearly can figure how many are left out. Yet up to 10% of the Kenyan population are supposed to be having a disability or another. That would mean for every year about up to 100,000 kids should be joining school with a disability.
Yeah.
And that means in the 8 years of primary education, we are talking about 800,000 kids with disability who are supposed to be mainstreamed, who should be in the school system. And more at the secondary level if the upstreaming in terms of the ones, the completion rates are consistent at 100%. We are talking about 1.2 million kids with disabilities in the basic education spectrum. In my opinion, if I was to prescribe a system, then this would be like regular disabilities and regular classes, or children with disabilities or learners with disabilities and regular classes. Those with severe disabilities either in special schools or they are special units where they can learn but within the mainstream, so that there is a concentrated approach, like you have an extra class for them in every stage, primary stage, secondary, but then they can socialize because they can play.
ድርጅቱ የተለያዩ ፕሮጀክቶች አሉት። አንዱ የኮሚኒቲ ቤዝ ሪሃቢሊቴሽን የምንለው ፕሮጀክት ነው። ሌላው የኢሲዲ ኤርሊ ቻይልድ ዲቨሎፕመንት ፕሮግራም አለው። ቮኬሽናል ትሬኒንግ፣ ሪፈራል ሪሃቢሊቴሽን እንዲህ እያልን የተለያዩ ፕሮጀክቶች የተለያዩ አክቲቪቲዎች አሉት በፕሮጀክቱ ስር እና እንግዲህ አንዱ እናንተ የመጣችሁበት በዚህ ኢንክሉሲቭ በሆነ ኤዱኬሽን ለማየት ነው። አንደኛው ሞዴል ትምህርት ቤት አሁን እንዳየሽው ይሄ ሞዴል ትምህርት ቤት ነው። ህፃናቶች ጉዳተኛና ጉዳት አልባ የሆኑ ህፃናቶች በጋራ ተደባልቀው ይማራሉ። ትምህርቱን ብቻ ሳይሆን የምንሰራው ወላጆችንም አዌር በማድረግ ማህበረሰቡንም አዌር በማድረግ በአካል ጉዳት ዙሪያ የጉዳትን ምንነት፣ ሌላው ደግሞ መንግስት ትምህርት ቤት ውስጥ በመግባት ከመንግስት ጋር የምንሰራቸው ስራዎች አሉ። በትምህርት ቤት ውስጥ አሁንም አዌርነስን በመፍጠር የጤና አካባቢዎችን በማመስረት ኢንክሉሲቭን በማስተማር እና ትምህርት ቤቱን ደግሞ እንትን እንዲሆን ተደራሽ እንዲሆን ትምህርት ቤቱን አንዳንድ እንደየፕሮጀክቱ እንትን ሪሶርስ በማደራጀት ለአካል ጉዳተኞች ምቹ እንዲሆን አንዳንድ ራምፖችን በመስራት ሽንት ቤቶችን ሞዲፋይ በማድረግ ነው ገቨርንመንት ስኩል ገብተን
the way we can at least take much care about those children having lame. Most especially, I can take an example of Susan. He's blind somehow, but actually, if at all we are arranging in a class their seats, we take care so that at least we can put Susan in front, so that at least can observe what is on the BB rather than taking her behind. Then for us, we know that every human being, though that he has some effects or what, for us we know how to handle all. Even though you are having a limb on your leg or while you are blind, for us we know how we can handle each and everybody accordingly. What? And how do you read it? You first read it, then you come and write it. Who can write it on the blackboard? Yes, come and write it. Yes, you clap for her. 405. 405. 405.